Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to everyone. It's my pleasure to welcome you to this insightful talk session on the impact of illegal wildlife trapping, a silent threat to Penang Hill Biosphere Reserve ecosystem, a topic of significant environmental importance. Before we dive into the sharing session, I would like to extend a warm welcome to our esteemed speaker, Mr. Kanda Kumar, Advisor and Honorary Member of Malaysian Nature Society Penang Branch, Ms. Tan Po Yen, Superintendent of Penang National Park, Dr. Nadim Pert, Senior Lecturer of School of Biological Science, Museum Science Malaysia, and our moderator today, Dr. 𝐏𝐿𝐴, Senior Project Officer of Penang Hill Biosphere Reserve Office, Penang Hill Corporation. Dr. Yang.
Good afternoon to all, ladies and gentlemen. Before we begin, I would like to say a thank you to all of you to be here for the talk today. Today's discussion is crucial as we delve into the pressing issue of illegal wildlife trapping and its impact on our beloved Penang Hill Biosphere Reserve. So without further ado, let me introduce our first speakers, Mr. Kanda. Okay, Mr. Kanda Kumar is renowned amateur ornithologist with extensive field experience and a wealth of knowledge about avian species. Mr. Kanda has dedicated his career to studying and conserving bird population in Malaysia. He has contributed to various bird monitoring and conservation programs, and his expertise has been instrumental in identifying and mitigating threats to bird habitats. Mr. Kanda is a respected voice in bird watching community and regularly conducts workshops, seminars to promote avian conservation and awareness. So please give a hand to Mr. Kanda.
Okay, I don't have to go too much on this first slide. Okay, these are the things that you get from. This includes poaching and legally caught meat, but not every country has got this population that is. But I can't see the slide. Okay. Because there are in many countries, they have to take what is called wild meat to survive. They actually have to eat meat, but this includes illegal ones and legal, so-called legal ones, right? It's but this is not Malaysia, okay, right? Okay, see, evidence of catching birds or wildlife itself. When we started eating meat, we are already doing this. So it's not something new. But what we are trying to say is, in this day and age, especially countries like Malaysia, do you need to go and catch wild animals or birds to sustain your life? No. Yes. So that is why we are saying that it should be illegal to go and trap. In my case, I'm talking about birds, right?
Next slide.
Okay, next slide. Okay, this is documented evidence from not just one country. IUCN is the International Conservation Union. It's a UN body. BirdLife International is what we have. Cornell University is another big university that has got big programs, expertise on birds, and these people have done the study for the last 10 years, right? And it's a combined this thing, and their what you call conclusion from all these things, we have lost 45 to 50% of bird populations in the last 10 years, especially in the last few years because the global warming effect has become more intense, so we are losing more this thing. And this is we are talking about only bird species and not other related species. Okay. Now, what are the reasons we are losing? Agriculture, industrial, and housing expansion. This is totally related to our uncontrolled world population. As you see, all animals and other things, even plants, are actually dying off. they are getting smaller in number. The only species that is multiplying like hell is humans. Right?
And mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes also going down.
What about nganga and lipas?
And then, fortunately, the previous mayor of Penang, I'm involved in the school green program, and in that he said to the school kids, we need to reduce human population. Very seldom any official or politician says this. So this is our ex-mayor. So at least he did something that other people dare not touch. So when you have this, there's always a loss of habitat. Logging and deforestation. Also, because sometimes deforestation is not for logging, it's for something else. So, right? Also loss of habitat, right? Invasive species. These are species that come into areas where one ecosystem is totally destroyed by another invasive species. These invasive species are mostly human fault. They bring in species from another country, another region, or within your own country this can happen.
Like mongoose, right?
No, these plants, right? And this will take over one ecosystem where all the living creatures there suffer, not just birds. Okay. Climate change, of course, we all know what climate change has done. Also habitat loss, and then the last one is hunting and trapping of birds. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is from BirdLife and Cambridge University. This is only talking about migratory birds. It's the second largest threat. It's for okay, it doesn't happen in this thing. Malta is a country in Europe where many of the migratory bird goes through. Malta. In the hundreds, they are being trapped and killed for food. And the reason they gave is, this is our heritage. Very silly, this thing. Our heritage doesn't go give you the right to kill animals, but they have been practicing when they were cavemen or whatever until now. They say it's this thing. So, but remember, this is not just Malta. Most of the Mediterranean countries actually do this hunting. Right? Here, it used to happen in Langkawi. Amachik will tell you. Water hen, white-breasted water hen, there's a migratory period where they also come in there and they trap them in the hundreds. Right? But they blow a kind of whistle, put the net, all the birds get caught. I don't know whether it's still happening or not, because Ahmad also doesn't know, because let's go there so much into the field there and see.
I want to ask this. Yeah, you see, recently there has been a spike in illegal immigrants in the West, like US and Europe, from, I think, like from Africa, from the Middle East. Do you think they'll hunt the birds in Europe as well?
No, these are totally different kind of immigrants. They don't have the facility to go and hunt and all. They are trying to get from one country to another. They don't have time to go and hunt and
I know, but I know. Maybe we'll keep the question and answer after. Yeah, we'll have the question. But you know, in Europe right now, this Mr. Kanyao, you need to present it.
Okay, so this problem is worldwide. Even here, we have got people who are trapping birds during the migratory period. I can't show you the trapping of migratory birds here because I don't have the slides, but it's happening, right? We have observed this. If left unchecked, bird poaching, especially in forested areas, will result in the forests and recreational areas being devoid of birds. This is from a recreational point of view, right? You lose your birds, and then what happens? Your future generation doesn't have any chance of experiencing bird life in your forested areas, right? Okay, next. Okay, now let's go actually what happens is when your population of birds decline. Less birds means less flowers being pollinated. Huh? Less seeds being dispersed. One of the main pollinators for forest flora are birds and insects, right? Seed dispersal, also birds and animals. So if you have less birds, not only are the flowers not pollinated, there are less seeds, and less seeds being eaten to be dropped by birds in other areas to spread the diversity of plants, right? So what happens? You don't get new plants growing in your forest. So your forest is slowly going off of all the old tree dies, but there are no new trees growing in layman terms. So what happens when the forest, all the trees are reduced? Your forest products don't come up anymore. You have less forest products. And a lot of, I'm not sure how much forest product in Malaysia is. In many countries, forest products are very important economically, right? Here is only not so this thing because we depend more on plantations than forest products. There are a few things that comes from the forest. But generally, once you reduce this thing, anything that comes out of the forest, even your timber is going to go down because your timber trees are not growing anymore, right? So there's a loss of economy when you have less birds in your forest. Okay, your birds, they eat insects, but they eat two types of insects. One may be no harm to your crops or whatever. The other one is they actually take insects that actually destroy your crops, your forest trees, or even there are insects that go and infect your fruits. Now all these birds and all these insects are not controlled. So what happens? There may be insects that are resistant to bird, or they can evade birds. These may be harmful and they become more, they multiply more and they affect your food production, right? So but that is very important, including flowers, because flowers are a big industry and the amount of chemicals they use for in your you ask those people who grow flowers how much they use insecticide and other chemicals. So if you have a good bird population, you don't have to use this kind of, you still use chemicals, but you don't use in the numbers that you think. So there's no way you can just use birds alone to control all the things. You need certain amount of this thing, but you reduce the usage of chemicals. So in the worst case scenario, as I said, harmful insects may thrive and it affects your food production, you go into famine. So this is one thing, because you do not know when you reduce one population of insects, which population will come up. They have always come across when you bring down one population, another population comes up. How sure are you that this new population that explodes is not harmful to our way of life or to our agriculture? So, next. Okay, this is what is very important. If the whole ecosystem is on a cycle, just like your, what do you call that? Your economic, what do they call that? The cycle of economic circular economy. This works in the same principle. if one species goes down, it affects another, and then there's a domino effect. In the end, the final people who are going to suffer most are human beings. Your food is not there, your water is not there, so, okay, next. Okay, this is a part of what I've already said. Okay, the other thing in bird populations is, this is documented in Australia. Birds have got special calls for things. For mating, they got one kind of a call, for danger, for another kind of call. When your population is too small, the birds are too far away to learn the calls. So when this bird, say the male bird says, oh, I'm ready to breed, the female doesn't understand that this call is a mating call because they're so far apart, this thing. So, and this happens to a lot of species. Mating calls are very important. It's like you going on a date. If you cannot meet a female and you say you're ready to make a family, how are you going to have more children? Right? The same thing happens here. So there's no mating of birds. And in Australia, they have to record male and female calls, put in the forest, and they got a transponder, it goes continuously, and then they switch it on so that the birds learn the calls. Then they say, oh, there's a male call, I will go there. But you cannot keep playing because the female will come there and there's no male. So, I mean, there's a system of this thing. That's why when during bird watching and everything, we ask them not to play payback calls because it disrupts the birds. This mating is a myna, it's a common bird, but this is a Javan myna. It's been trapped so much, now it's under threatened species. Any person who knows about mynas are so common, how you can be threatened is because too much hunting. And this used to be endemic to Java and Bali, but they were introduced all over the place, right? But even these populations have gone off. And it's basically because of trapping. In Penang, no, but in KL and all they were, but now I'm not sure. Next. Okay, we need to look at studies on forests, what happens when your bird populations goes down or your thing. And we need to look at local areas, Southeast Asia, because the forests in temperate climates and other places are different. So this is in Indonesia, right? In 2011, they started this study. And if you look at it, from this 2009 to 2021, 45.1%, there was an increase. This is because they control the amount of trapping. This is a proper study funded by US university. So, even with all that control, they still lost 16% of the listing. This is because they couldn't control the number of people going and trapping. With all, I mean, they were quite efficient to make sure there's an increase in population, right? But even then, so it's not an easy thing to do, but just to keep in perspective, even with all that effort, yet people go in and trap birds, and then you still have a loss of 12%. So if you want to, it's a very long paper. This is the citation of the paper. If you want to go and learn more about how they did this. This is a long study, and then it cost them, I think, 10 million US or something like that for the study. It's a very expensive study, right? So you'll get all these things there. Next. Okay, this is just to show what's going on in the world, right? This is Europe. They lost, because we don't have that kind of statistics for local this thing, but under the European Union, they've got certain things to do. So this is their loss, 53% loss of bird population, right? It's not just climate change. This is basically because of habitat loss and hunting of birds. This is the decline in some birds. I didn't want to put the whole thing, just to show you all that there's a decline in bird populations. And if you see, the most number of birds lost is shorebirds and grassland birds. We don't have grassland birds so much, but we have a lot of shorebirds coming in here. And these shorebirds come from as far as Siberia, North Korea, Japan, parts of China, and even some East Asian countries like Kyrgyzstan and all these things. So, okay. Okay, next. Okay, this is some of the things that are happening. These two are not in Malaysia, it's from some other country, because we don't have photographs of. I mean, it's difficult for us to go and take these photographs and all, otherwise without being beaten up. So these are all other areas where they are caught in nets, right? This mostly is for food, right? Next. Okay. There was a study by BirdLife International to see how much hunting going on in Southeast Asia. Myself, Mr. Tan there, Chinek is our headquarters people, and somebody else.
Goes from Sarawak.
No, we're involved in collecting data from members from this thing, and then BirdLife's Singapore office has come up with a summary of these things. So from there, bushmeat. Now bushmeat is for people to eat, whether they really need it or because it's exotic, it's all lumped under one. So from that alone, there was 27 species of birds being caught. Petrate, the highest, 32.
Like parrots, right?
Any kind of bird that people want to keep in cages. And religious is very few. But the most amount of religious birds that are caught is the munias. They are small birds. So, okay, although we don't agree to this, right? It is a wrong interpretation of their religion, right? But the numbers are small, right? Okay, the highest numbers, you see, watercock. These are all birds were in wetlands, rice fields and all. So these are very easy to catch because you put the net in the rice fields or wet areas here, you get the birds. And these birds are quite large enough for food. I guess these are more for food, right? And then jungle fowl. That was a surprise to me that people still hunting jungle fowl, right? You got so much chicken, yeah, they want to hunt. Now this is a very interesting thing. In the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, there are small islands, remote islands, or I mean to us it's remote, but I think they are about 10 or 12 kilometers away in the sea, or nautical miles away from the sea. And this is where the terns nest. They also roost there and nest there. And you see the amount of birds and eggs are taken from there, 3,000. And this is within 3 days. See? So, unfortunately, Dr. Hamza is actually, he's Saudi Arabian, isn't it?
Libya, from Libya.
Libya. Due to the pandemic, he went back, and then we were supposed to go with him to Pulau Perak to do more research, but he went back already. So this project more or less died with him. It's about controlling seabirds. According to him, there was no license given for them to collect this eggs, and then yet this thing. Within 3 days, mind you. Okay, locally, you'll be surprised we are talking about Shama and all. But the highest number of birds trapped zebra dove and the spotted dove. These are the cage birds that they keep. I always thought it'd be the other way around. Huh? These are the one because easier to catch and they are not protected. So they get. Next.
Yeah, my neighbor, I think one of my neighbors has one, you know that?
Yeah, okay. This is within the biosphere, but at this time, the biosphere was not even gazetted or not even proposed yet, right? This is the Tulapahang Forest Reserve. Right in the forest reserve, this was going on. Unfortunately, the information came to me about 4 days after the incident. And I sent all this to both the wildlife and forestry. No response. We don't expect them to go and guess those guys are gone already, but at least some kind of acknowledgement, or they will say, okay, we'll be more careful, or no response. Next. These are all the 4 photographs. And this, if you see that, what they have got, this is pigeon, green pigeon. This is the thick-billed green pigeon.
Wait, is that illegal immigrant?
No, this is the starling.
Yeah, sorry.
Starlings, you don't expect people to get these starlings, right? They have already okay, they get into the net, you release it, right? But they've collected, and the rest I can't identify because the photo was not clear. This is the starling. See, he's taking it out on the, and these nets are put high on this thing. Next. Okay, after that we got other people who put up their nests. These are called mist nets because in a mist you can't see, so the bird goes in. Now, in those days, the mist nets are made of cotton. Now it's nylon. Nylon doesn't break easily. And when the bird goes in and struggles, cuts its neck, cuts this thing, everything. So, this is the reason why. And under Malaysian law, I think Poin will tell you, it's illegal to have these nets, right? Yet they are selling it. Okay, these are bee eaters, and this is actually here. White eyes. White eyes are birds that, for some reason, the government allows it under license to be songbirds. People who have been to Hong Kong will know they have this in their cages in all over there. This is the white eye, but not the species from here. I think the one is from China, or the white eye. The songs are not really that good, but for some reason, the Hong Kong people like their sound. So almost every apartment has got this white eye in their cages. Okay, next. Okay, this is brown fly. Chewing took this photograph. This is a rice field, right? They have put the net from there to there. And this is only one incident. Very often we see them, right? But by the time you tell the wildlife to come, the nets are not there, or the people are not there. They can just destroy the net. They cannot catch anybody, right? And you know it's not easy for the wildlife. You tell today, 2 days later only they can go, if they are free, and they have to find the location and all. So, but now it's easy. We can get them the GPS. In those days, you have to describe the place to go. And this is another one, chewing took photograph. You see how entangled the bird becomes, right? Next. Okay, this is one of the incidents where we stopped and released the bird. This is my former bird partner. He passed away 3 years ago. Right. So we are taking the bird out of the nest. The net. Mist net. This is abandoned rice field. The water level is about here. All our boots and all this thing was completely soaked, right? And it was this bittern, yellow bittern. This is the bird that we managed to release, right?
Yeah, did it survive?
No, this survived because maybe it was just caught when we were around there. Otherwise, it would be more entangled, right? And we managed to extract it without cutting. Usually, they're so entangled without cutting. Next. Okay, this is taken from another NGO that monitors illegal activity on all kinds of, what do you call them, wildlife trade, right? this magpie robin alone. You know, this is your kampung, Murai kampung, right? Yeah. A lot of people say, oh, everywhere you can see, now you don't get it, right? The number of that has been taken. And this is 2023. The latest one. One of the biggest culprits that goes to Indonesia. They got a lot of trapping, yet we have to trap from here and send to them. I don't have that thing, but it specifically states this is for the Indonesian trade. And if you, I didn't want to put up the photograph. If you go to Java, the market, unbelievable, the birds and the animals they have. Okay, next. Okay, this is the one that we took out one. This is actually an introduced dove. It's a red turtle dove. It's actually from North Korea, but it's now spread wide over. So, and this was difficult to extract. I should extract from this side of the net. I mean, sorry, I should take from the other side. But the other side was a ditch, so I have to stand on this side, put my hand like that. So it took a long time until Julian said, no point. We had to cut the net. Next. Okay. You see, it's so difficult because it goes into a pocket. You need to go from the pocket side rather than going like that and trying to take it out. Okay, next. Okay, this is all for you too. I don't want to read so much. It's just, this is very important. It applies to everything, not just birds at all. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kanda. So it was very nice to have a real case and incidents and seeing Mr. Kanda in action. So next we are honored to have Ms. Tan. Ms. Tan is the Superintendent of Penang National Park, where she oversees the management and conservation efforts of one Malaysia's most significant protected area. With over 20 years of experience in wildlife conservation and park management, Ms. Tan has played a pivotal role in implementing sustainable practices and policies that safeguard the region's biodiversity. Her dedication to preserving nature habitats and educating the public on environmental stewardship has earned her recognition as a leading figure in Malaysia conservation community. So welcome, Ms. Tan.
Thank you. Next, okay. From beginning, first I make some introductions about Malaysia so far. Malaysia is one of the 17 mega biodiversity countries in the world. You see, actually we own very smallly, but we have mega biodiversities. Okay, around the whole world. See the maps of the world. We are very small, and if you compare, especially like the tiger, or we say cats, right? We have 10 species cat and 8 species big cats. We have 4 in Malaysia. 50% of the big cats in the world you can find in Malaysia, including tiger, Malayan tiger, leopard. Clouded leopard, we have 2 species. One is Sunda, is found in Peninsular Malaysia, including suppose in Penang. We record previous last few years in Butterworth, and also Borneo clouded leopards in Sabah and Sarawak. So besides that, actually Malaysia is very active, involved in conservation efforts since we are the members for the IUCN since 1968. And also we joined the party to CITES since 1978. CITES is more on the trading, means make sure all the wildlife trade legals. And then we combat the illegal fighting, poaching, everything. Okay, next. So how do we regulate Malaysia's wildlife for the conservation? One of the things from government side, registration is very important. The way we come an idea to make out our legislation. First thing, we engage with international. We have an international engagement that we have to follow as a country. We have committed our role and our task. The first thing is the CBD. CBD is Convention on Biodiversity. Then related human dimension is very wildlife and, oh no, sorry, it's called biodiversity and also the human dimension. The other thing is the scientist, and just now mentioned, it's more on trading. The other one is as IUCN. The other one is IUCN, is the International Union for Natural and Natural Resources. Okay, all this one, and when we committed this one, our law also actually parallel with the international change, the conditions, the trend. So we have a Wildlife Conservation Act 2010, and actually 2 years ago, we managed, we success the whole world, actually the whole Malaysian effort, we managed to pass the parliament and we get the amendment for 2022, amendment for the Wildlife Act, Wildlife Conservation Act, and in the same time, National Policy on Biodiversity. This one is the third version already. We start is 2009 until now, after almost 20 years. So we have another target is 2022 until 2030 inside. Then beside that we have others like Sabah, Andaman, and also ordinance from Sarawak. So from all the state and also for Peninsula, we put together, we work together. Okay, next. Okay. So in this one, when we look at the Malaysia framework, first this one is the policy. So policy, inside policy, we have 5 goals, and then 17 targets and 64 actions. One of the actions, like today's topic, is target 12. By 2030, poaching, illegal harvesting, and illegal trade of flora and fauna are minimized or significantly reduced. This is since 2009, we already, actually the effort is since, I think, during the colonial stage already start. Okay, so we go to next slide. Okay. So this is the framework. This international scientists, that's why we say they've got Scientist Act. So we have Malaysia our own Scientist Act. That one is to control all the trading. The animals come into Malaysia and also going out. Not only animals, sorry, also flora. Okay, this part. But inside, when you're inside the Malaysia, we have a lot of act that protect the biodiversity. So we have a Wildlife Conservation Act, Fishing Act, National Forestry Act, and also the rest, or this one, actually a lot. So sometimes we not only have to use one act, but we have to read together to ensure we not left over. So sometimes when we did the enforcement, we also work together in team. Okay, next.
Wait, I need to ask. I don't understand more, but do you think the animals they bring into the zoo, like the zoo Negara, the zoo Taiping, they comply with the...
Yes, they have an act inside. We have an act, Wildlife Conservation Act, to control the operation of the zoo. We want to make sure all the animals inside the zoo is not, the source must legal, not from the black market or even smuggling. Okay?
Yeah, so yeah, it's like
Okay. Next.
they're not very humane.
Okay, next. Okay, so we look at the past. In the past, actually, in Malaysia, before we merdeka, or we say before Independence Day, for Malaysia, actually we lost 2 species, very significant species in Malaysia. The first one is the Javan rhino. Most of the people only know we have rhinoceros, the Sumatran rhinoceros. Actually, we also have Javan rhino. And previous only, most record in Perak and Selangor, especially Perak. Larut, the last one was killed, Bukit Larut. And then now, the specimen was in, now it's actually not, was still in the British Museum there. Okay, so this is the last before we merdeka. The other one actually is a pig 4, green pig 4. But that one we managed to get back, and now only in XC2, means still in Malaysia, but XC2, because the animals too long, not introduced in the wild. So we need to take long time to climax, means to change the conditioning them to adapt to the wild conditions. Okay, you can see this one. It's too small, sorry, the screen too small. Actually in 1930s, even the inventory, they mentioned only not more than 5 to 3 species only, individuals only. Yeah, even our Sumatran rhino in 1920s, 30s, 60s, even not more than 20 individuals. Yeah, so that's why this is the trend. From the genetic pool, all everything actually considered weak already, and also the habitat loss. We have 1930s and 1960s because of the country development. We did a lot of land use change, so caused habitat loss. This is one of the driver to biodiversity loss. Okay, next slide. So this is another one. If you see this one, 1938, actually Malaysia, our first law, wildlife related to wildlife, is not by the wildlife department, but from the Majlis Perbandaran, we call City Council. Okay, one is and click. Okay, actually it's under the Wild Animals and Bird Protection Ordinance. That one. First, if I'm not mistaken, Perak in 1920s, and then after also in Strait State, means Malacca, Penang, and also Singapore. Okay, this one, you can see that time people illegal hunt, so was fined 15 ringgit. Imagine that time to national park 1 ringgit only, but this one 15 ringgit actually is huge. The money actually amounts. The fine is quite high, the penalty is quite high, and also this one actually that time only bird, wild ducks, and then waffle, and then that time we already practice closed season and open season. Means we have a good well management. Means when during the breeding season, it's not allowed for hunting, and every hunting how sometimes people criticize why you allow hunting. Sometimes we say we allow hunting, but when we didn't open the license for application, means no hunting. And this is the mechanism how we control. If we don't have any list or any means hunting allowance, means under the permit or license, we lost of control because nothing we have on our list. So this is a mechanism, usually law we use to run the enforcement. So next. Okay, you can see this one. So it's actually we hope this case will draw the attention of holders of firearms license. That's why firearm license is one of the contribute to Malaysia. We take care well our biodiversity also, because Malaysian not easy anyone can simply to get the firearms license. Okay, this one. So next, this one also. And that time, who can enforce? Penghulu also can, okay? Police office, forest officer may arrest without warrant. This one actually is very powerful. Until today, as wildlife officer, we also have this power if to rescue the animal or to mainly rescue or to arrest the people. If, but of course, must follow or under the act. Okay, next. Okay, so actually, to make the things more centralized, actually, because animals, the wildlife not like flora. They grow in Perak. They won't suddenly, when they grow up, go to Penang, right? But animals can, because they have legs, can walk and can travel. So that's why, to make more efficiency for the for conservation and enforcement and management, so British time, our Hobart, we saw Hubbard. Sir Hubbard is our first wildlife commissioner in Malaysia, Malaya that time. He come out the idea, he said, we have to centralize, we have a federalization, so that we can protect animals wherever they are. Not because they are in Penang, when you walk to Perak, we have to wait there, so ask Perak to take care. So this is another thing, so we have to. So that time, they start 1886 to 1892, federal Malay states already have this ordinance for the Wildlife Act. So that one, just now I mentioned, start. If I may say, first in the countries is from Perak. Okay. Then later on, federal intervention. When the Hubbard to convince the Parliament, the London Parliament, he did the 3 years non-stop inventory survey. So we have the 3 Bibles. Until today, we're still using that one. 3 Bibles we call Wildlife Commission report. Wildlife Commission report. That one, 3 Bibles, very thick one, can become thicker than my pillow. But that one is very useful because until today we still can trace the historical record and historical reference, all this one. So from there, they come out national park. That's right, in 1937-38, we come up Malaysia's first national park in Pahang, Terengganu and Kelantan. So from there, also the rest state, he used it how many years? 40 years to federalize all the department. So first, can you make the... Okay. So this one is after. That's why we have a first Wildlife Act 1972, or we call Act 76. This is the first act. Then also Megastua changed name to Department of Wildlife and Peninsula and National Park Peninsula Malaysia. So this one, this is the present. This is my boss, present boss. Okay, Dr. Kadir. Okay, so this one is the trend. Every one of them contribute a lot to fight for wildlife, especially our first Sir Khan, because previous for the elephant, when go to the conflict, only shoot. But after, when we start from him, we start the elephant translocation. We transfer all the problem elephant to other place. Instead, kill, do cowling. Okay, so go to next. Okay, so this is a function, but today I think today main topic I will focus is the enforcement part, more on this part lah. It's for enforcement part. Okay, so actually the wildlife department, they are formed because of the 76 Act, Wildlife Protection Act, that time we call. Then 2010 we managed to amend the new act, is a Wildlife Conservation Act. So this one we mainly still focus in still NC2 inventory. What we did to repeat the previous our ancestors, all their effort we continue. Then some more today, I think more challenges is the international threat like smuggling is one of them, money laundering using the wildlife, and also invasive species. The other one, climate exchange, another issue also. Actually really affect in situ management and conservation. So go to next. Okay, what is today we need to do? Okay, next. Okay, just now slide. Okay, this is previous cases in before 2019. Okay, we can see a lot of cases when we managed to start boosted the ground enforcement. Okay, this is but what we want to do is not arrest them after the animal die. Actually, we want, yes, actually we want to do is prevention. Before everything happen, everything will be good. So actually, the more effort supposed to invest is education and awareness. This part is more important. Because enforcement team, the whole Peninsula, we only have 1,000 over people. But we have a lot of power from where? From our citizens, our school children, or from the mothers, and also everyone. Actually, they are the one play more important roles. Okay, next. So this one is snail is another track. Okay, that one is cause a lot of problems, and we have to clear every time we have to operation to clear the snail in the forest. Sand, yes. Thank you. Next. Okay. So some more now more famous online illegal trade online. They kill one. I'm actually quite angry. I talked to Dr. Yang before. I'm very angry when someone sell the baby monkey, especially like dusky-leaf monkey. If you see one monkey baby, so sell online means one mother was killed because mother never left the kids to other people one. Same like human. So if you see them posting on the online to sell means the mother killed already. Only they got to stop. Yes, that's why we should not say no to all this kind of trading, wildlife trade.
Yeah, I remember my grandma, she saw a video, I think on YouTube, right? I think the baby monkey was, I think it was like a baby dusky. What can I do?
Okay, you can report to us. You can go to a wildlife website and then go to hotline. You can also go through another one is online. We have a other one. You can just complain complain. Fill in the information.
It's like, and then my grandma said, the monkey bear, the baby monkey bear, the coat, so cute.
Yes. So actually this one very beautiful, right? This one actually I get from the internet also. Someone placed on the internet. This species actually found in Penang. Someone said in the Tanjung Ngai, actually Penang here, God, we have this one. Yeah, trapdoor spider. Why call trapdoor? Because they know how to open the door and close the door after they get the traps, the prey. Okay? Sorry. No, anytime when they hungry, they open the door. Okay? So that's called trap. And this species, no matter which species under this disease is protected under Wildlife Act. Nobody can take it without the license. Okay? So next time you see someone take, you just report or can call it, send to police station and then report to us. Can. And then also like certain area like Lephidius Kantan, Tioman, these two is an endemic species, only Tioman and Impera. These two is totally protected. Totally protected means the fine is double up than the basic one, okay? This one. So also another one, petting. Petting is another one. They change the animal's behavior. They love it for a few months only or a few years. Later when the animal's too old, they leave it or they throw away. But they change the animal behaviors already. Previously we have a few cases. The otter, smooth-coated otter. They keep the otter like cats. So at the end, this otter don't know how to swim, doesn't know how to swim. But he likes motor. Stand on the motor like that, very happy. But this one is a nebulosus. It means it's a monitor lizard. I forgot the cowlet monitor lizard. Nebulosus. Problem the people see what they're doing, and this is totally protected. Suppose not that without the license cannot. The totally protected is need permit, special permit. But still, we can see people place on Facebook and very proud because they say what? Previous the people hunting because of what? Poverty. They need bushmeat for survival. But today, Malaysians almost can say most of able. We are able, but because of pride, sometimes you're arrogant, you feel that they're better than others because they can try something people cannot try. And also we have another group is challenge. You want to challenge the law. You say, once I didn't caught, I'm okay one. This is another attitude, and also social behavior change we have to look into. Okay, so go to next. Okay, so after that we change our strategy. Since 2019 to 2022, we have a lot we call operation. Okay, that time we not only in protected area in Wellington only. We work together with the police, Sarawak Forestry, Sabah Wildlife Forestry, then Johor Park and also Belum Perak State Park. So we have a lot of operation. The first operation start 2019. We have 7 only operation, and that time we managed to destroy more than 1,300 snails, and then we arrest 82 people. And end of 2019, we start facing the COVID year. COVID 2 years, very good. These people cannot run out from Malaysia. They stay in the forest. So we managed to arrest them, more than 300 people. Okay? So 2021, can see drop 50%. Then later, when open, they run away, most of them. So but the operation until today, still we continue. And we somehow get more team and more team. Now we also have NGOs joined together with them like Pelindung, WWF, and also WCS. They also have the team, but they want more on the, we call the other one is a community ranger. Community ranger means we hire a lot of veterans, those retired army, and also Orang Asli work together with us. They are called community ranger. So they are posting in the jungle side, and every day they do patrolling. So in Penang National Park, we also have 16 community ranger help us to do the monitoring and also the enforcement. Okay, so you can see the case drop, and then this is the thing next. Okay, so we can see the cases from previous a lot. 2013 we have 123. We have 1 cases is relate to tiger. Okay, next. Okay, also when we work together with the police, they take action. Is another one is a firearm license. They won't renew the license, firearms license, so that can reduce the case. Actually, this is one of the good effort when we took together with the police. Okay, next. So go back to this one. I think everyone will sleep one because this is more to act like lawyer. You have to take out the books, everything. So when we talk about hunting, what means of hunting? If we interpret from the Wildlife Act, means pursuing, trapping, capturing, taking or killing any wildlife by any prescribed means, whether or not that wildlife is then or subsequently taken, trapped, captured or killed. Means including the snail also. So in our office we also have an expert, because they are very clever. They'll be in the court, they say this is not snail, this is just a one kind of rod only. So we have to prove this is snail is a weapon you use to kill the animals. This is another one we have to, yes, okay. So in related to wildlife, not only wildlife we charge you based on wildlife, we also charge if they are immature or they are female. Not because they are smaller, less punishments, actually higher, because their future generation, and also female is the mother to produce more babies, means the generation. So that's why if those kill immature or female, the penalty is higher than the normal one. Okay? So this one, if you look at, can download from our website this book. Okay, all this one, just hunting only, so many charge, different charge. Okay, even this one is a prohibited hours, means when you can hunt daytime only, because most of our animal nighttime, so we make you daytime. You want to hunt daytime, but not in the forest, only in plantation. This is the rule. So if you see someone in the forest, means illegal. Yeah, and most of now Malaysia sometimes buy opportunities. Why? Some of them actually mainly their purpose to collect the harum. So when they inside in the forest, lapar kan, already hungry, lazy to bring the food inside, so they kill whatever in front or pass by them. This is one another factors. Okay, so next. Okay, sorry, go back to just now. Okay, actually also what including even you disturb the nest also will be charged. Yeah. You can see after that. Okay, the nest, even if you go to closed season, closed season means not the season you allowed to hunt, you hunt also will be charged. Means not only charge you kill wildlife. This is 1 charge, 2 charge, 3 charge, and including how many individuals. Not based on lump sum. 1, 2, 3. 3 individuals times 1, 2, 3. All this one become burden and burden. Okay. Then also salt lick also. You are not allowed to hunt in a salt lick area. Salt lick is a means area got the natural mineral the animals need, especially for ungulates. Okay. So we go to next. Okay. This is for example all this. So far, for the first schedules, more than 1,000 species are protected. Okay, so here we have 2. One is exotic, one is in local species. And go to next one. This is another slide. This is totally protected. So that one need license. For this one need special permit. Means only you must get the permit from who? Minister. Yeah, but support by our DG. Okay, so this one.
But yeah, my grandma said the video is fine, the one with the monkey, because it's not in Malaysia.
Okay. So for totally protect, we have more than 1,394, and we are going to amend the schedule some more. We'll hire more species will be protected. Okay. So this one, every few years we have to review back the list and relevant of the act. Okay, next. Sorry, go back, sorry. I want to show this one. This one every week come to my office and visit me. Actually, I take from my windows. Okay, this is a dark-skinned monkey. We have 24 individuals. There's one troop quite big. So starting with last year, only 21 members only. This year already expand, means the family is quite happy. Now already 24 already members. Then sometimes they travel to Graduate, then can come back. Okay, next. Okay, so what's the penalty? Okay, I just give the simple one. Okay, just one for totally protected only. Your present not more than 3 years. Okay, not existing 3 years. Your fine not less than 50,000 per individual per species.
Yeah, like how many Malaysians actually have 50,000 ringgit? That's enough for about...
So that's why this one is not to punish people, actually to let the people know, don't do it, you don't need to spend this money. Yes, the main purpose to tell the people, you no need to save for this money because you want to break the rules. We just make, so for totally protect some more, not less than 50K, not existing 500K. But this one is just normal, not including immature or
females.
yes, female.
Oh yeah, this one money, it's already enough for an all-inclusive trip to Japan.
So this one, if they really punish, they really pay the money, we say, good to them, bersumbang untuk negara, donate to country, good. But for us, better don't because this is just prevention. We want is the prevention. Okay? So sometimes also, the latest 2010, our act also included part, not the whole body. If you just even have for example, you just have the tissue, also can be charged already. Since 2010, we enforced this one. Before that, we excluded this one. But since 2010, we already have this one. Okay, so go to next. Almost finished already. Yeah. So actually, because of the conservation, we use tiger as a main. Why we use main? Because it's a flagship species, flagship. So it can cover the rest. But actually, we also did a lot of things. So this one, Malaysian government actually really support. For this team, National Tiger Conservation Task Force, actually the chair by our our Prime Minister. He's the one chair the meeting, and we have 9 strategies. One is the boost on the ground enforcement and patrolling. So that's why we have operation. We also have a ranger community ranger, and then we strengthen the special protected area response team. This is called Sparta. Okay? Then also we have a preserve from the in situ site. This is about integrity of protected area, and also with police we have a wildlife crime bureau, and in our police time we have our own wildlife crime unit. Okay, these two, so coordinate each other to work on this one, and also we have a national wildlife forensic lab. Means a lot of cases, if you cannot see already the whole picture of the animals, we just get the tissue, we'll go through this forensic lab process. Then empowerment, this and other things. Empower innovative financial instrument through government, federal to state government. This is another effort we do. Then the last one is the strategy partners, means everyone can be. Sometimes we did with the students, they do the campaign, or they do the campaign like previous we have is fundraising, and then they give the talk, they did online everything. So we cooperate, and even if with the industry, they want to take part in the program, then they also what they donate actually go back to expenses for the patrolling. So next, finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Tan, for such an information. Now we know there's so much of a heavy responsibility from the Department of Wildlife and National Park to take care of one of the biggest megadiversity in Malaysia. So next, without further ado, we would like to invite Dr. Nadine. Dr. Nadine is a distinguished lecturer in School of Biological Sciences, specializing in zoology and primate studies. She has conducted extensive research on the behavior, ecology, and conservation of primates in Southeast Asia. She has also been involved in zoological research in Malaysia for almost 2 decades and currently study feasible conservation management strategies for Malaysian primates in human-modified landscapes, applying a strong conservation and community involvement component. Dr. Nadine is also actively involved in various conservation projects and initiatives aimed at protecting wildlife and their habitats in Malaysia. Her work has contributed significantly to our understanding and primate conservation. Thanks, and we welcome Dr. Nadine.
Thank you, Dr. Yang. Thank you everyone for being here. I know some of you, so I feel I'm preaching like to the choir a bit. So I wasn't sure about the audience and like who do I address. So I hope some of the things might be new to some of you, maybe. And maybe some things are familiar, so I might actually maybe talk to Ellen about something. We will see. So I tried to wrap up what Mr. Kanda and Ms. Tan have said, and maybe it's good that we hadn't like looked at each other's slides before, because there's overlap, and I think we really form a really well team, because you will see the trapdoor spider in a second. Okay, so I talk about collaborative conservation, like how can we all maybe make a difference, and maybe some of us have certain opportunities or angles that others don't have, so how can we bring everyone maybe on the table and work for the conservation of wildlife, not just on Penang Hill, but in all Malaysia, maybe even in all of Southeast Asia. Okay, so background, Ellen, very familiar. We have in 2017 established a collaborative, what we call BioBlitz. It's a biodiversity assessment, a very quick one, 10 days, but 200 scientists from many different countries, including many scientists from Malaysia, many from Penang, from USM, came to Penang Hill in various sites, including the habitat when it was just about to open, I think, and did a very, very comprehensive, from down in the soil to all the way up in the canopies assessment. You took this one? Yeah, this is yours. And what we wanted to do is get like a basic idea about what species do we have, because many species we can easily see, like Kanda is bird watching and has a fantastic repertoire and knowledge about the species that are here, but some species we may not see so easily, so especially the ones that are up in the canopies. So you see, we did tree climbing, and there were people going up all the way into the canopies, putting camera traps, seeing not just about wildlife, but also about ferns, about mushrooms, ants. What is there in Penang Hill, and why is it worth to be protected? And this initiative came about from the idea to actually gazette this whole area as a biosphere, the UNESCO Menon Biosphere Reserve. So a tiny, tiny part of that data has contributed to the application for the UNESCO Menon Biosphere, and much, much more data about the biodiversity of Penang Hill was actually available from the long time, I think in the early 19th century, the historic assessments by the British who came, who assessed the biodiversity on Penang Hill. So there's records, not just on wildlife, but obviously on plants. You go to botanical gardens, you have a huge historic knowledge and a collection of the plants. Today I'm focusing on wildlife, and as Dr. Tan has said, I'm a primatologist, so we've talked about the _𝐏𝐞𝐧𝐚𝐧𝐠 before. You will see a little bit more about this coming up. But just to give you a glimpse about some of the vertebrate biodiversity that we have here, and these are all photos taken from the BioBlitz back then, using like trapping, and yes, we had licenses, using like, do not do this without license. For research, even for research, you're not even allowed to look at the animals. See, do you see this? All right, plantain squirrel. Don't look at it without license. Just kidding. Okay, so what we did was camera trapping. We trapped the wild. What you see here, is that actually a pointer? It's okay. You see on the right side, that's a forest rat. There's in fact more than 12 different species of rats in the forest. It's not just your dirty longkang rats. They are very important seed dispersers and very important for the biodiversity of the forest. So this is me like measuring one of these rats. If you can see, of course, many birds, many reptiles, very specific endemic species.
So it's not like the 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐥𝐿, right?
Like the what?
𝐏𝐿.
𝐏𝐿, I don't speak Chinese. Ticos, not that. It's the ticos. That is the ticos. That's the rat. Yeah. So, before we delve into some of the more serious issues, we had a lot of these serious issues just now by Ms. Tan. I just want to give you an overview about what is really special about the biodiversity of Penang Hill. And Ms. Tan has already mentioned about the iconic trapdoor spider, which I also know by now that is actually illegal to capture, but you may take a photo if you see it. And very, very intricate, very beautiful one. For me, I hate spiders, I'm sorry. I can handle the rats, I can catch you a snake, but don't come with that spider. You know, 𝐏𝐿𝐿. Okay.
Spiders, just
Hangat, 𝐏𝐿𝐿. So then, when you see it, of course, it has the name that it constructs the silk door, and when it opens it, it's trapped, basically. The prey is then falling in and it's an ambush predator, so very, very beautiful, but highly endangered. This one, if you haven't seen it yet, please follow Ellen into the habitat, is newly discovered a hill crab species. When we did the BioBlitz, I found some of the crabs in the forest reserve down there, and I was thinking, at that point in time I had no idea about this. I said, why is there like crabs in the forest, 800 meters high? You know, from the mangroves, you go from Makam Place and your seafood, of course, but then you are up like 800 meters higher up in the hills, and you find crabs. So this was newly described, I think, a few years ago. 2016, I think. Might be this one. You show Mr. Allen.
Yeah, this one's from the receptionist area.
Yeah. Same. You saw it. That's fantastic. And very, very unique, because until today it wasn't found anywhere else. Yeah, just on Penang Hill. So another, what we call endemic species, is the Penang banded gecko.
Bento.
Banded gecko, yeah.
Banded.
That's the, yeah, banded. You pick up all the details. You become my assistant. Check my slides. No, fantastic. So this one also, endemic, means you can't find it somewhere else. It's literally, unique to this place. Even more unique is that one, which I haven't seen anywhere else, but always at the same rock underneath that rock in the habitat. And every time I come, and I think Ellen actually, you're tipu-tipulas. This is like, they put like this, a puppet there, because every time I come with my students, go into Penang Hill, go to the big rock, and I say, this is a hyper-endemic species. You can only find it here in Penang Hill, or maybe only even in that site. One or two of these will be there, consistently. Amazing. So I'm like, yeah, we have to talk about that. All right. This one is of course, is one of the, as you see, very venomous snakes, the blue coral snake. In German we call it, I'm not going to speak German to you, when you translate it, we call it the 100-step snake. So be very careful. 100 Schritte. Very good.
Yeah, do you know the NGA, do you know the Malaysian German Society?
I do. Let's talk about this after the talk. All right. So when you see it, it's not aggressive, but obviously you don't want to get close to it, okay? Take photos from far. All right, Penang stream toad. Now I just want to point your attention to the species names. Many of the species of the animals and also plants in Penang have either the genus or the species name with some sort of Penang in it. Yeah, so either the species was first described here scientifically, where it can be found somewhere else, but the first description going into the official records was done from like Penang, or you have a species that is literally endemic to Penang. So it can mean both, and if you see a species name that has Penangensis or Penanganya, and especially the plants, many of the plant species, it's special. It's something that Penang can be very proud of. We love them. The red giant squirrel and flying squirrel, obviously it's not really flying like bats, but huge animal gliding, and very special. You see it at night, and yeah, I think many of the wildlife we see during the day, yeah, but not many of us are either familiar of how to spot wildlife at night or even interested going out at night. Hantula and all this, okay. I want to talk about the interconnectedness of us and nature and all these species, and just saying that in order to have that appreciation, of course we need to do like education and awareness, and then all of you being here is already like a testimony to you already are interested. Thank you for coming, and as I said, I feel like most of what I'm saying is also what is very familiar with you already. But Charles Darwin has said nothing exists for itself alone, but only in relation to other forms of life. And obviously as humans, that does not exclude us. But we forget about this, what Kanda has said before. Yes, human population is getting bigger and bigger, and we are leaving more and more impact on other species that coexist with us. What happens is that this intricate network of species interactions is easily negatively affected, if not even destroyed, if we like lose one of those components that are what we call keystone species that hold many different responsibilities. Quick example, what Ms. Tan has said before, the tiger is one of these keystone species, but also when you think it's an apex predator, it controls like small mammals and other prey species, and if you lose the prey species, for example the deer, or even now wild boar becomes endangered already. In Sabah we have almost lost the bearded pigs already. You think, oh no, wild boar is so common, right? But then you also lose those predator species. Yeah, apart from hunting and ensnaring and trafficking, when you lose prey species, you lose predator species. So you do also, but it's more important to protect even the prey, the food. If you don't have food, you die, right? Your food? Okay, lama.
Like, you know, in America, if you shoot the wolf...
The wolf is like the tiger, apex predator. Yeah. What I want to say here just quickly, because this comes up in the next slide, so when you pay attention here is the deer. And let's say this is the tiger. This is not a Malaysian publication, so that's taken from the temperate countries. That's a publication that you see here. But I just want to like point you towards these different interactions. So shelter, parasitism, competition, predation, and everything, everyone keeps each other in check. So like human population is exploding now because we don't have anyone or anything that keeps us in check. We've got enough food, got fantastic healthcare system, everyone kind of okay, of course we have disparities, but on the large scale we can survive better than we should actually. Okay. But this is what happens when you lose the species. So let's say you lose the sambar deer, of course the main food source for the predators is going away, and you've got more than just one predator species for the deer, so you've got all the cat species that Ms. Tan has mentioned. Especially for the tiger, there's less than 150 left in Malayan tiger left in Malaysia. It's an enormous impact. Yeah, so don't just always focus on these like very what we call iconic species. Like everyone loves tigers, we want to preserve the tiger. But in order to do that, you have to look at those species that are maybe not so charismatic, not so cute, not so in our attention.
Ikan kampung, right?
Ikan kampung. That is sedap kan? Okay. So this is what we have to think about, and this now I'm picking it up from Kanda. These 5 causes of biodiversity loss, they are all interlinked. Nothing is standing by itself. It's actually called the evil quintet by some of the scientists. So of course we know, right? These are pictures taken from Malaysia. We know the impact of pollution, water, land, air. Now I think, not sure, is this Cherubu? The weather lately are very hazy, and I'm affected. I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, but for wildlife, when you look into plastic, microplastic, ingestion of plastic, think about the monkeys rummaging through the garbage. They ingest plastic wrapping. They do have negative impact. That's just one example.
Or or the plastic floating on the ocean.
Or the plastic floating on the ocean, the sea turtles mistaking the jellyfish, right? They feed on jellyfish and then they feed on plastic.
I remember when I was little, I used to see the jellyfish every time I ride the ferry.
Be careful, some are very stingy.
Now it's very uncommon.
Oh, it's true.
Now if you see them,
Because the water is already polluted, so even the jellyfish don't like to come here. Penang or what. Okay, so then of course habitat loss, you know what's happening, not just in Malaysia. It's a worldwide phenomenon. We talk about the Amazon, we talk about, you open up the forests for soy, you open it up for beef and cattle farming, you open it up for oil palm. Like, this is no blame. Everyone is taking a part in this, not like blaming Malaysia. But it's a huge contribution, habitat loss, and when you fragment habitats, it's even worse because the animals can't pass from one habitat to the other, they get stuck. You think, okay, I still have the monkey here, everything is fine, but it's not fine because in 10 or 15 years they cannot reproduce and they die, and there's no public awareness about that. Invasive species, we have mentioned that the trapping, the trading, especially the traditional Chinese medicine, the wildlife trade in Southeast Asia is the largest crime just after human trafficking. And human trafficking, the drug trafficking and also the wildlife trafficking, they're interlinked. It's the same people, networks that are working together. So it's a huge challenge to really tackle this, because it's not just what Malaysia can do. You have to have your enforcement in all the different countries, from Malaysia to Laos to Vietnam to China to Cambodia, and they all have to work together. So we can't even work together in a community most of the time. How do you work together internationally? It's very difficult. Now we got on top of this climate change. I'm not going to bore you with climate change, but it's happening, and if people still don't believe it, I'm like, it's okay. Let's talk about something else, because you cannot change opinions most of the time. What you can do is you can talk in a way that may affect the emotions of people. Say, okay, if you don't believe in climate change, also okay, but look, the rice, last year Kedah also got no rice because too hot. This year, West Joseph said durian, like fruiting at all different times. Kind of good, but this is because of climate change, right? So it's
affecting the price of all food.
It will affect, because we will have shortage of food.
I remember a few years ago, about 3 years ago, I bought a sausage about, I think it's around 15 ringgit.
Yeah.
A packet of sausage at Zaragoza. Now
Expensive sausage.
Now a packet of sausage is 25.
That is even more expensive. Of course it does affect, because we will have less food and we will all be more people. Imagine, have work, both things against.
I might shrug it off because it's high quality sausage.
Yeah, that's true.
No preservatives.
Okay, let's talk about this. When we look into the integrity of all these interlinked networks in biodiversity, everybody has like their role in the ecosystem, but you're losing components, right? This whole network at some point cannot take it anymore. It will collapse. But on top of this, if you have climate stresses and agriculture and all these human factors, it goes all the way. We are the ones on the losing end. We are the ones who will be affected. Now everyone's still fine with their aircon and cars and Netflix. I don't know, wait for 10 years, let's see what happens. So this is why I think we need to really appreciate like the efforts of keeping habitats intact. And this is why the forest integrity, as when you look at it not just from the wildlife perspective, needs to be like looked upon holistically. Every single part plays a role, from what the bacteria in the soil and the mycorrhiza do for fertilization all the way up to the canopies. And we don't know much about all of this actually, right? We only see this nice, like the tupai just now, we see that, it's like, oh, it's so nice, but you don't know many of the small contributors to keeping the resilience of the ecosystem. So coming back to this, I don't know what time it is to speak. I want to quickly, and everybody loves the 𝐏𝐞𝐧𝐚𝐧𝐠, because I'm a primatologist, I also want to speak a bit about the macaques as an example, just in a case study, happening with many other species, but that's what I know, so I'm going to take that advantage. I'm going to talk to you about the trade, and I'm sure some of you have had experience with either knowing someone, if not even yourself, maybe had a monkey as a child in the kampong. It's very common. Yeah? There's no judgment. I'm not judgmental. A very common thing. Even my family, my Malaysian family, my husband Malay, they got the monkey in the kampong. Like, yeah, it's a thing. Like even for what the coconut, right? The Baroque pigtail macaques, keep them for the coconut plucking. Very traditional kind of thing. Issue is if it gets out of their hands, of course, if they don't have a license, but you have to have a license, but the orang kampung also don't care, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that with the illegal wildlife trade, species that are iconic to Penang Hill are also affected widely, not just here in Penang, not just in Malaysia. So the 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐥𝐿, you can find them all the way up to Thailand. The macaques, you can find them almost all across Southeast Asia. In fact, the macaque, the long-tail macaque, the 𝐏𝐞𝐧𝐚𝐧𝐠, is the most traded primate, if not mammal. Maybe pangolin is even worse, but definitely primate in the world right now. And you know for what? Why do they trade it? Why do they sell it? It's for the biomedical research. Yeah, and especially during COVID. The COVID vaccines were developed using this animal model. So there's thousands, if not like hundreds of thousands that have been traded during the past 5 to 10 years. And many countries in Southeast Asia have these, so Cambodia and Vietnam are specifically the source countries affected. Online trade, we had that before. Online trade, the 𝐏𝐞𝐬𝐥𝐿 baby. Chinese New Year, a few years ago, the year of the monkey. Everybody wants to have a golden monkey. It was horrendous. I think look it up. The Chinese calendar, I think it was 2016 or 17, year of the monkey.
Yeah, 2016.
Amazing, like everyone all of a sudden, so panda is changi, use the internet, get the monkeys from the online. And at that point in time, the law was not designed yet to forbid it. There was no law that said it's not allowed to advertise primates on the internet for sale. The only thing that's forbidden is if you keep it in your possession. But these traders have very good ways of, keeping them not, but other people have it and they just advertise. So luckily now the law is revised, and luckily now online trade has become illegal. Now enforcement has to really get into it. I wouldn't say it became less obvious, because the traders also go into the dark web. They have their own ways of doing it right now. So online trade is an issue. Then pet monkeys, especially in Indonesia, is horrendous. The pet monkeys, you have entertainment monkeys, they know how to perform. They wear like little masks and ride little bicycles, and tourists come and they take photos. Malaysia doesn't have that, luckily, but other countries, it's quite bad.
Yeah, what about Thailand?
Thailand is also bad. I was in Thailand, somebody put like a gibbon on my shoulder. I didn't even know what was happening. All of a sudden something is there, and I look and there's like this monkey. It's not a monkey, it's a gibbon. But for you who may not know, so I was like, what is happening? And they want you to take selfie or photo, and then they charge you. Obviously in Thailand may not be illegal. Again, in Malaysia I haven't seen that yet. So coming back, why primates, and what about this network of species? Kanda has already talked about birds and pollination, and subsequently the fruiting and the forest regeneration. Of course, birds also very important seed dispersers, especially the bigger ones like hornbills. And primates are just as important for what we call the forest regeneration. So when you have an intact community of animals that eat the fruits and they poop out the seeds somewhere else, right? You plant new trees. You don't have to go with your community every weekend. You plant trees. Yeah, there's all these community efforts for tree planting. Fantastic. I mean, go. It's amazing. But if you have these animals, they do this for you. So when we lose monkeys, as you see here, and again, this is from South America. I know this is not a hornbill, don't put it on the record. This is the paper from South America. But if you're losing the primates, you're losing these keystone seed dispersers. So many tree species that are maybe only, the seeds are only dispersed by a certain primate species. They cannot be dispersed, at least not so far away. And why do you need to disperse them far away? Because if it's the seeds, the fruits, everything falls under the mother tree. First of all, they get all eaten up, or they rot, or then they cannot sprout because it's too dark. So the ecosystem there, the microclimate is not good. They need to go further. So you have to have animal dispersers to do that. So even the macaques, and many people don't like them, and I'm aware of that, and that's another talk I can give for 3 hours somewhere else. And they are very, very, very important seed dispersers. So you don't want to lose them if you want to maintain the integrity of the whole forest ecosystem. All right, So what can we do? Like, you are all here, you're doing it already. As I said, I don't have to tell you. But of course, I want to just get some highlights here, which is one of the NGOs I'm involved with is the Malaysian Primatological Society. And also sprouting from that is Jolene, here on the right side, who's running the Lenga project, Penang. She's down there, she gives a talk at 5 p.m. Come here or go to her booth. What we can do, all of us, is preach. All right, so you create environmental education and public awareness, and you're maybe not like brave enough to stand here and talk to people you don't know, but you can always talk to your family, on your friends, and you can always say, whoa, I didn't know the macaques are actually really important for C dispersal. I know I don't like them, but now I don't want to harm them, or something. You want to say? Yeah?
And also, if you see your family, your friends looking at a YouTube or Instagram or Facebook video with the baby lango, you have to tell them to report it for animal abuse.
Fantastic. You are my assistant, Stay. So the next slide probably will say exactly that. Almost. We will get to that. What we also need to do is talk, not just one, I talk to you, I tell you, I'm a lecturer, I can talk to you for an hour, or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, and you sleep already. Yeah, that's fine. No, what we need to do is to talk to each other. We need feedback. That's why I'm very glad. What's your name? Okay, very glad she's here because we need to have conversation. We need to see, okay, what can everybody contribute? Everybody has different talents, has different means, money, connections, smart, anything like creativity. Yeah, everyone is different, so we all need to pick each other's brains. How can we make this work? So again, I'm taking Jolene here as an example because she's coming up next, and I just think that's amazing what she's doing. Talk to all the local representatives, talk to all the community members, from the children to the uncles and aunties. Talk about how do we protect primates. That's a case study. You can talk about how to protect birds or the pangolin or whatever you're interested in. What's your interest, right? So you go and you use that. And from that, you form some connections, and maybe in the long term there can be some policy changes. So this is something taken from Cherotokon on the mainland. There's a forest reserve. There's a huge issue with these macaques, yeah, but that's because people are feeding them, and that's happening everywhere. So how do we mitigate this? So we talk to the people, we talk to the representatives, the YB, the Majlis, and then we see what can we do. So now there's a strict no feeding policy, and everyone is kind of on board. Even the food vendors, the fruit stall, they go like, oh, now I know I shouldn't feed the monkey. And oh, they don't come anymore. Yeah, why would they come? There's like fruits in the forest, there's oil palm plantation all around. Of course they like mango more, who doesn't? Okay. So again, quick, if you come to her talk, she will talk more about this. The Lenga Project Penang has just established also this canopy bridge in Tanjung Bunga, fantastic for when we talk about fragmentation of habitats and how can we connect not just us through conversation, but the habitats in order to have the wildlife go where they need to go and not come into our housing areas. Okay, the cicada. I love wildlife, but can you please be quiet? Okay, I mean, why not talk about the biosphere now that we're here, right? And one of these initiatives to connect not just the community, but connect everyone, the stakeholders, and that's a word I don't like, but you know what I mean, the government, the NGOs, the people, the scientists like me, to connect this under this Biosphere program that was the initial driver. I think the idea is like, how can we make this better? It's nice, but how can we be more efficient in conserving this place? So I think we are just at the start, but many really great, fantastic initiatives and programs have already come up, and especially like working with the National Park team and Pihlitan and the forestry and all the different members here that are now part of the team, and I'm sure there are many more to come under this Biosphere initiative, is where everyone is at the same table and everyone is working for one objective, which is like how to make this area with nature and people more sustainable and protect wildlife, protect the species, protect the forest, but also protect our own livelihoods. Because if we are poor, we go out and catch the birds, right? So of course we need to live, we need to eat, but how can we do this more sustainably? So think about organic farming methods, think about like livestock farming and things like that. So every ecotourism or the ecotourism sites, how can we make it that we leave as little impact as possible on the environment while still sustaining our own livelihoods. So these partnerships are very, very important to protect Penang Hills wildlife, even including the marine area. Yeah? So what can you do? Obviously, everybody can do something, I told you. I'm sure many of you know the iNaturalist app. There's many more other apps. But what you can do is you could become a citizen scientist. That's a fancy word for a hobby, like bird spotting. But for iNaturalist, it is an app that allows you to record biodiversity. And before anybody asks, this app does protect when you upload any species that is endangered or listed in the IUCN Red List, it does not disclose the location. It just says, oh, maybe you can find the pangolin in Penang, but you don't know where. So you cannot go to that exact spot, so there's a radius of 5 to 10 kilometers. But you can upload your sightings with like a GPS, which is private. And what you see here, during the past few years, also together with the Habitat and the Foundation, we've done like the citizen science biodiversity assessment that also stemming from the BioBlitz in 2017 has now accumulated 81,000 observations of wildlife and plants and mushrooms and marine animals, 5,555 species. Interesting number. Again, it does include plants and small bugs and things. But if you're interested, really just have a look. Everyone has a smartphone and that's all you need. And it's free and it's protected, means the wildlife is protected. You don't have to worry about it. And you can even protect your copyright if you have beautiful photos. You agree on the copyright licenses. So just check, if you're interested, just check it out. Of course, what we always need to do is like respect wildlife, so never touch, especially not the coral snake. Okay. Never touch the wildlife. Always keep your distance, always. If you find injured wildlife, what do? You don't pick it up, you call Miss Tan, okay? She's Bahilitan, she's allowed, you're not allowed. Never feed wild animals. If I see you, I catch you and bring you to Miss Tan. It's not legally not allowed, but it's an absolute no-go. Even the wild boar, or like what people are feeding sometimes is quite interesting. Even in the botanical gardens, I saw them providing food to the wild boar. I go like, what, really? Even if you think about stray dogs and stray cats, we feel very empathetic. I do as well. Yeah. But if you don't neuter them, if you don't take them and neuter them and release them, do not feed them, because they just grow in numbers and they suffer. Yeah? Always take photos from a safe distance, unless it's like a beautiful buck and you're a macro photographer, okay lah. But if you see the monkeys, stay away. Don't take posts or selfies and post selfies with, especially the monkeys or endangered wildlife. If you do this selfie thing, right, the macaques, and people go like, oh, and other people go like, what? Oh, so cute. I want to have one as pet. So you facilitate that idea that it is okay to have wildlife as pet, and it's not okay. It's not just illegal, it's ethically, it's not okay. Take the stray cat home, or the stray dog. Yeah, don't have to feed, just take it back home.
Yeah, what about the sharks?
The sharks? You have sharks as well?
No, I mean, it's like, yeah, if every time you go to 𝐏𝐞𝐧𝐚𝐽, I have always asked,
shark fin that's another topic, but it's one of the worst, the traded fin soup and everything. Okay, takeaway messages, every one of us, yeah?
Animal that they sell as pet.
Okay, Ms. Han can confirm, if you go to a pet shop, I would say 99% of those are licensed. There is a license and you can acquire the license. Of course, sometimes there's also some pet shops that do some illegal things. So be very careful and specific. When you buy an animal, confirm you get the license or you apply the license with Bahilitan. Usually it should be okay, yeah?
Yeah, what about skunks?
Skunks? Do you have skunks?
No, I remember one time I saw skunks.
Yeah, I don't know. As you say, there is pet shops that do some illegal trading as well, so it's dependent on the situation. We do all know this, so I'm just going to skip to the next. Observe local policies and laws, and now you know all about it. And you have asked that question before. If you find anything suspicious, if you see animals being traded online, if you see someone is poaching or hunting the birds, you can now ask for her telephone number. Also, you can also go to the website and just leave. It's an easy form. You just leave all the details, and you can report wildlife crime, or you can also report like disturbances for whatever the elephants coming to your kebun or something. So this is the general aduan, the complaint form from Pahilitan. So that's your first like to go where anything related to wildlife incidences you want to report there. Educate your friends, I've said that. Educate your friends and family about the importance of primates and other wildlife, and maybe you want to join an NGO. Many of you have already, or even founded your own NGO. So anything that you're interested in, MNS or WWF or MPS, or you go down to Julin and talk about the langas. Students from my university, I force them, no mercy, every year they have to go and clean up the zoo in Taiping. Yeah, so, but they're very, I mean, right? but most of them are very, very interested in that. So with that, I say thank you, and yeah, enjoy Penang Hill. Just one point on the golden monkey, it doesn't stay golden for long. After 2 or 3 months, it becomes black, and then people don't want it anymore, and then when you release it, it dies. That's a very sad ending to this talk. Okay, maybe you want to ask some questions.
Thank you, Dr. Nadine. So for that, we have completed the slides presentation. Is there any questions from the floor? Now, I think we still have about 50 minutes for the Q&A questions.
Dr. Nadine, commonly cited in the urban areas, my area, Bayan Baru, even in Georgetown, the common monitor lizard, the biawak. So what I do is I call the bomba or the civil defense. Can you tell us more on how to handle that? Is it a wildlife or
Okay, thank you. For the monitor lizard, actually in Malaysia we have 4 species, and what you see usually is a water monitor lizard is the most common one, but even common is protected species. Those anyone want to keep it must have a license. The rest is totally protected, means need special permit. The clouded and also the rough-necked and others, all need license. So when you have this conflict, you can call Pahilitan to go and help you to take away the animals. But sometimes, first you must see is it your house provide the habitat for them. First is to the conditions of the surrounding area, a lot of rubbish. Sometimes because they are scavengers, they eat the food leftover or the rubbish they throw along the way. So if the area clean, no food, they will leave it the area, they no more go to the area. This is once usually happens is because of food. The other thing, if your area have a river or water source, yes, because now climate change, the area getting hot and hot. This is the way they get the water source. So sometimes this is another thing. The third thing is we encourage always your sliding door always closed. Windows are still okay, but usually sliding door, they may go into your house because if your house have a good aircon and then good food, yes. So usually we encourage is your sliding door. If you're not active, you're not in the house, make sure you lock everything. Then this is one prevention to suddenly you get the unwelcome guests in the house like this one. Okay.
they are foraging for food and the rubbish?
Yes, right, yes, mainly they.
They are commonly found in the longkang, in the drain.
Yes.
So they are amphibious, is it?
Yes, they are amphibians. They have their scales and then the claw. And then if you want to know, is it the water monitor lizard, you look at the snout. Snout there, the nose is, the snout actually is close to the apex. The rest 3 species is forest species, is very close because they need to swim. If two, so if the nose is very close, means when they swimming, the nose won't drowning. Yeah, the rest forest species. The snow actually the snowsreel is actually near to the ice. So from there actually we can know that it's a forest species or it's a water species. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, actually I just wondering because this topic is about silent threat to Penang Hill Biosphere, right? So I walked around Penang Hill today and I saw a lot of domestic animals, cats, dogs and all this. And cats are known that have a very bad history wiping out species of birds, especially off islands and all this. So what's the stance of Penang Hill for this?
For the cat species over here, we do understand that we have also restaurant running over here. So we try to report to the related agencies and we are trying our best to keep it. But of course to our conservation to the animals, we do not harm them. So that's what the best we can do. So, but come back to the advice from the experts, please do not feed them, possible, because as they regenerate more and more, they actually suffer. Okay, so no, Ms. Tan wants to add some more?
Okay, actually, if this area, most of the forest area actually is protected area, natural area, suppose we do not introduce cats and also dog actually is introduced species. So actually they affect our ecosystem. And not also this one. Recently, just now also we discussed for the another hidden threat to the Penang Hill. The other thing is people release animal. Pets, no matter it's domestic or not domestic, because like just now, Dr. Nadia already show the food change and also so their relationship. Because you take out one thing also no good, but you put more also no good also, because they break the rules or something, because they don't have predator naturally in the wild, so they can eat whatever they want, especially those they release frog and also lizard. There were the American bullfrog actually I'm not sure, I think we can hear still some of them to be serious, especially very serious in Selangor area and Johor. The whole Selangor Aitam forest full with this one, because this American bullfrog, it can bigger than chicken size. Everything can put in their mouth, they will telan one, they will take one, they won't care one. This is very strong carnivorous, and then breeding, each time they breed a lot. So this actually is a very, very serious to us. And also here, like iguana, someone released iguana in the forest. They are not native. So actually cause our haunted mountain lizard and also our gonocephalus or our belly lizard, agamic lizard affect a lot. Because they compete the ecosystem, the habitat, the food source, and also the shelter food resources, they compete each other. So this is another challenge. So if those everyone, this one, if you see, we should take away, or we should ask the people do not release. Yeah, release the right thing, rescue the animal, but rescue the right one, and then we don't want to make give impact to the ecosystem.
So thank you. That is also a potential hidden threats that possibly people introducing or reducing or releasing some of the cats that overproduce at your location to our habitat. So in that case, Ms. Tan, may I ask if they have any cats or dogs, if you do not want them to be released onto nature places like us, what can they do?
I think they have another organization, those because dogs and cats not wildlife, they are not wildlife, and usually in town area usually it's under the city council, but also they have one NGO, those help to collect and all this one, and sometimes they do the sterilize for the animals.
So for us to avoid
you can go to the RSPCA.
No more R already. The R is gone already.
SPCA. So for the advice to avoid is to have the potential or hidden threats for people to releasing some pets and from the house. So maybe we can refer to SPCA lah. So
we cat shelter. Yes, I heard that's a nice place.
Thank you. So Miss Tan, so do you have any additional or question from the floor? No?
If a venomous snake goes into the house, what shall we do?
Depends on the species. Bomba is for python.
Bomba or Pelita also can, because we have, just because of manpower not many, so usually we also work together with the Bomba. Bomba is more easy. Every residential area got the Bomba, so they'll go faster. If in Penang we have only 4 offices, 2 in Butterworth, and in Penang we have 2 offices, one in 𝐏𝐞𝐧𝐚𝐧𝐠, one in Insidious, our another office. So you can call Bomba or call Belitan also can. Just one thing, in Malaysia, in Peninsular Malaysia, we have only 40 species venomous snake. 40 only. 20 is already sea snake. So 20 terrestrial only. These 20, usually they won't simply go to the house. Sometimes because that few years ago, because climate change too hot, so that's why force them, and also the clearing all the bushes, cause them go into the housing area. Actually, very common in KL. Sometimes people call us, they found the batik, python in the seat on the engine, nighttime too cold. So the next day morning when they start, there's something wrong, they open, they call us. So sometimes even our vehicle also, so we have to take out the animals, and then all this snake actually, if those very mild venomous, but unless you're allergic is no good to. For us, we not encourage people to touch. But usually if the house got the too many lizard or rats, yes, they'll go into one. But usually hardly they, now if first I mentioned your sliding door always closed when you're not in the house. This is another thing, and also the windows. Because especially you must alert if the surrounding area got a new open, means that they open for the habitat, they change the land use or landscape. Suddenly they clear the whole area into this one must alert. Sometimes it happens, they will go into your drainage or your backyard, have a beautiful gardens, yes, they will come in. But first thing, never touch them, never provoke them.
Whatever happens with next comb to a toilet bowl?
We won't hope that this will ever happen. That's one of my worst nightmares. She said, what happens if it comes out of the toilet bowl? Okay, I just want to add on, like, what happens if you actually get bitten. But first of all, when it comes to your house, the first thing is you pick up the phone, but then monitor it. Don't leave it out of sight. Yeah? Do not leave it out either, because it might hit in your garden and come back tomorrow. So it's good to have it removed professionally. You want to add?
Because the snake was on the 4th floor.
On the top floor?
4th floor.
4th floor. They can go even higher. If you're in a condo, you're not safe. Sorry. But what I want to say is, what if you get bitten and you don't know what you have to do? Like, just some quick things that I learned, maybe the bad way, is that you need, of course, to provide, first of all, like an identification of the snake. Before, everyone had a smartphone. That was quite difficult, so you had to kill the snake and bring it to the doctor if you still had time. You remember? 100 steps? Okay. But now you just take a photo. If you're with someone, obviously that someone will do that for you. Then the main important thing is keep calm, keep the limb calm. Do not use like bandages and whatever they tell you, right? Just keep as calm as you can. I know it's difficult during that situation. And go to the general hospital, not to a private clinic, as soon as possible. And why do I say that? Because only the government hospitals have in store the anti-venom, and that's why you need to provide the ID, because for the 20 different venomous snakes, they also have 20 different anti-venom, that's species specific.
But what if you live very far from a GH?
If you are living very far from a GH, then you pray to all the gods you know. Okay. But in the best case, as Ms. Tan has said, it's just a mild venom. Most of the snakes are very mildly venomous. 30 minutes might be okay. As fast as you go, and try to provide the ID for the snake. Yeah, go to the government hospital, because we lose time thinking the next clinic is just nearby, but you lose time. So straight. Okay, keep calm. Okay.
I can share one experience from my colleagues. He retired already. In 20 years ago, we actually, even myself, so we always, when we did the enforcement in the forest, more than 10 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, one. So we from one state go to another state, penetrate the forest from one state to another state. So one of my colleagues, he was attacked, he was bitten by viper, pit viper. Okay, so to come out from the forest take 3 days. 3 days he walked. Our colleagues, the rest company come out. First thing, we make sure never let him sleep. Talk to him, let them rest but not really sleep, because very dangerous for us. So 3 days came out, managed to treatment, but after that he never get fever until now. After 30 days, one of the good we say side effect. But actually, pit viper is a very venomous. As we know, US they use it for the heart disease. They use the venoms for that.
Okay, those people who do not know, in the early days, the pit viper's venom was used to treat heart ailments before all these chemicals came up. And one of the pit vipers they got is from our snake temple. The source of this was very old.
So that's why snake, yes, dangerous, but once we didn't close them, should be okay.
Thank you very much. So we need to do conservation of the wildlife, although they are dangerous to us. Who knows, one day we need them to save us, right? Okay, for that we have to do a closing. So we will do some gift ceremony to our all 3 speakers today. So let's invite our Mr. Sharil, Senior Manager of Penang Hill Corporation. Okay, let's Dr. Nadine. Thank you so much, Dr. Nadine. Okay, next we have our Miss Tan, our Superintendent. But and for our Mr. Kanyakumar. Oh, okay.
All right, okay. All right.